Hello, welcome back to Vivaldi Winter. This is part 5, but it's actually second part of third movement, Allegro. So we are now in measure 85 in the third movement of Vivaldi Winter. So here we are at a tutti, and we have a chord that we begin with. It's a G major 7 chord. Need to tune my violin. With the cold weather, my violin is not too happy with all the pegs slipping and everything. So this is measure 85, and we have a G7. So breaking a chord is a good opportunity to practice breaking chords. 2 notes and 2 notes. Keep your arm nice and square. Don't try to roll it too much. Some people have that opinion, you know, maybe in Baroque era that they broke it a little bit differently. But I am doing it maybe slightly in a romantic way. So this is a slurred section, repeated passage, right? I shift up here to third position. It's just nice, better than doing that F natural on the E string. So that's what I do. And then so we've gone through like all these descriptive passages in the previous part 4. So I hope you go back and listen to that. Now we are in the section that ice is breaking. I love this part because it's so fun to play, but it does require good technique and very accurate string crossings and very quick right hand. So this is measure 89, and very ready left hand, so that you're not too sluggish, and that it has that effect of breaking ice because it's quick and kind of jagged, right? So there's always that crossing. You could go in second position here. I don't know, I'm doing first position. I guess you could go to D string in measure 93, but I end up so you do have to cross your arm across 3 strings, but you do what you gotta do, and then you still have to do it on the next several, so might as well do it on the first one where it says solo, measure 93. So I stay in first position there. Make sure you know which strings you're supposed to be on. So we have arpeggios. Make sure you're familiar if it's C major, G major, D major. It is helpful to know theory a little bit and be sure, because otherwise your intonation is going to be questionable. So we have a C major arpeggio here. C minor, I'm sorry. And if I were you, I would practice going back and forth. And if I were me too, because I do it as well. So, and then come back. Very good for intonation. The next one, 94, is a G major chord. Then we have C minor. If you're not sure how to figure that out, look for interval of thirds. 2 thirds in a row create a triad, an arpeggio that will tell you what chord, what key you're in. So like in measure 94, if you look at the first 3 notes, they go down D, B, G. So if you go backwards, it will be G, B, D. So that's G major, okay? The next one is a little bit harder to figure out, 95, measure 95. But just look at the first 2, that's a third, E flat to C, and then C to G is a fourth, right? That's 4 notes apart. And then G to E flat is another third. So if you can put them in thirds, so if you look at the third note, which is a G, then you have an E flat. And remember, you just had a C before the G. So you put that C an octave lower. So in measure 95, if you look at the third, fourth, and then second note, put an octave lower, you're going to have a C, E flat, G. So C, E flat, G is a C minor arpeggio. And then measure 96, you look at the first three notes, that's also an arpeggio, right? I mean a triad, you can use different terms, but triad means three notes, right? So F, D, B, oh, in this case it's four, I'm sorry. You have 4 thirds in a row. So that's actually, if you go backwards, you hear that it's a nice G major 7th chord. And then G, the next measure, you see the first 3 notes is G, E flat, C, and then go backwards, C, E flat, G. So you see 2 thirds in a row, and the bottom is a C. It's called the root. So you see it's a C minor chord, or arpeggio in this case. So I hope that's helpful. It does help to know what you're doing for intonation. It's important. And then measure 94, 5, 6, 7, 8, 98. It's the finish of this section. So I do a little rubato there. It's like it's the ice breaks, and this is like the peak of it. So you can have some fun with it. So it's C, third position, first position. Make sure that, so it's a C minor harmonic scale, if you check that out. So if you go backwards, and then but on the second measure, so measure 99, you have a B natural and A flat. That's what makes the kind of scale, it's called harmonic minor. So that's a little bit of extra theory there for you. But then the last note, it's a nice G. I would play it pretty short because it's like the ice breaks. So it's very visual to me. And then the next section, Lento 101, just nice and gentle, a little slower. It's actually the wind, the hot wind. The term is hot wind, sirocco. So very slow, gentle. I would start in third position, then I go to fifth position. 3, 1, 2, 3. Little echo. A little louder. A little echo. Then I would go on A string, a little bit softer here. So this is fifth position. I always have trouble saying that word. Fifth position. Then second position. And fourth position. Excuse me. A little bit of time, and then the wind, the winter wind starts, or cold wind. Vento borea. Cold wind, yes. So here is your virtuosity shows off. Make sure you know what scales you are playing. It's E flat major, because we have the D natural, which is traditionally a leading tone. So let me go through that relatively quickly. It's on first position for a while, so I'll play open here. So you can be, once you get the technique, your fingers under control, I would practice it slurred as well, because slurs can help connect the left hand fingers. You can make some dynamics and make it feel like a wind. Just make sure it's very even and in tune. So the orchestra comes in here. And another term for this section is all winds at war. So it is really wild. But make sure that you could do it. You do it as well as you can, technically speaking, as well. Have some fun, but make sure it's well done. So then measure 124. So this is probably the hardest part because you keep going up and down. Fourth finger. You could go to open string there, then open. So that orchestra comes in here. Then third position,